Hello, good people. This is
Hello.
Rock and Jess, and we're in Rock and Jess world. I'm Rock,
And I'm Jess.
and of course, I'm Rock again. And we are really happy that you're here,
Very excited.
back at it, still doing the pandemic. We still doing. I didn't mean to say we're still doing the
Still doing
pandemic,
the pandemic.
but there are so many. I'm just saying there are so many things that are affected by the pandemic, and I know it's probably a part of what we're going to talk about today. But just want to give a shout out to Jess. A lot of things that she's done. This logo that you all see behind us, very beautiful logo.
Very
It
proud
is.
of it.
It's our logo now, and so we're very happy, very proud of this logo. Yeah, very happy, very proud of it. So we got to
Move
give
it
a
up,
hand.
people.
Got to give a hand to
Yes.
you, baby. Give you a hand. Great job. But I want you, if you don't mind, could you elaborate, just kind of talk about this logo and what you were thinking? What inspired this?
Well, when I was thinking of it, I was just looking at what would represent a combination of two marriage
I don't know why I thought
relationship.
you was just going to say, "What would Jesus do?" I don't know why.
I was thinking of what would Jesus do, and in
I'm too
enhancing
deep.
our
I'm too deep, Jesus.
our podcast. Of course, he's put them first, duh. But if you can see, I'm not sure if you can see or not, but it's two rings in this circle, representing marriage. One for him,
Okay,
one for
I
me.
see the two rings.
Yes. So
Two rings.
so it's a represent.
All
Two
right.
rings.
Two rings. and and
Yeah.
I know we'll get into that eventually while we have the black rings on. I do want to ask you this though. I know you said it's the two rings that are up at the top right here. I feel like I'm doing the weather, and on this side, the forecast is going to be like. But I noticed that this is the one thing that I do really love down here is that it has the R and the J right here that everyone sees. But also, I like how that world is connecting them at the bottom. I mean,
Yes.
it takes both on both sides to support. And that V, I actually think W's is actually used, but I love it as V's because there's always two views,
Yes.
but
Not
we're always one, and so I really love that, and I have so much revelation out of that. But and our motto is reveal to heal.
That's right.
We're living in our honesty. That's what Rock and Jess World is. That honesty, that truth. Many people don't live in their truth, and when you're not living in your truth, it makes your life counterfeit in a lot of ways. When you don't live in your truth of who you really are, who you really are. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. I mean, especially when you're trying to talk to other people or be with someone else. If you don't know who you are, how are you going to know who you are to them? How are you going to give yourself to them?
Okay, good. But here's the thing I want to add to that. You sparked it, which is when you're faking to be somebody else and somebody offends you and you get upset, it's just extra energy because you're upset about them offending a person that you're acting like when that's not really who you are. They actually didn't offend who you really are.
And
But
how do you know who to represent?
Right. It's just easier
Yeah.
in life to be the great original. I'm gonna give y'all this, and then we got to move on to what we're gonna do. Being the great original is important because when you're your original self, when you're who you're designed to be, and walking in that truth, and we're talking about the reveal to heal here. But when you're walking in that truth, I believe that truth is continually given to you. You learn more about yourself. More things are revealed. More things are given to you by God, and it helps to heal those things that have went wrong along the way. Time always will heal things.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, but walking in that great original. Listen, Jess, I want to ask you this, and I feel a little churchy here.
All right.
So I want to ask you this. Have you ever heard of, and we're getting into these things, we're talking about relationships from the pandemic, how the pandemic have affected not only marriages, but relationships. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about relationships, and we're getting into that today and right now. So Jess, I got a good one. This one came up and I was like, I got to talk about it.
Okay.
So
I'm ready.
Have you ever heard about dry dating? Do you know what dry dating is? Have you heard that before?
I have not. That is the first first time I've ever heard that word. As far as
Listen.
dating.
I didn't know what it was. When I first heard of it, I had to go and look it up. But I ended up, this is what led me to the article, because I was like, dry dating is like, what is what is a wet date? Whew. We're gonna move on right there.
Yes.
What I'm not gonna say anything. What is a wet date? All right. So just looking at this, just looking at different things. So we're talking about relationships. We're talking about pandemic, and right now we're talking about the dating aspect of it. Do you know? Do you know? I don't want to move, Sly.
I don't know what it is.
Well, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? Just guess. Just
My
guess.
first guess, if you think about dry dating, is boring. Like, you're just going to have question and answers. Like, I'm going to read you a list, and you're just going to answer yes, no, true, or false.
Dry. That sounds dry. Hello, my name is Rock.
Right?
I love Jesus.
Okay. Do you spell that with?
Yeah, no excitement. No, okay.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. So when we look at this, I'm going to give you the article. I want to go ahead and give you the article because there's a lot of things we can think about with dry dating. So let's go ahead and get to what it really is before we get into the wrong thing. But I found this article on dry dating, and it was really interesting, and I want to be able to give it to you all as well. So this article says in the past 2 years, it's had a lot of effect on relationships. People have been reassessing their relationship with alcohol. And all right,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and per the Bumble, this is from a relationship app that's spilling over into their dating habits. All right, and the app's let me see what we're going to, because I don't want to read the entire thing. The app Trends Prediction Survey found that 34% of global daters are now more likely to consider going on a dry date than they were pre-pandemic, and 29% of Americans surveyed believe that social norms around drinking and dating are shifting.
Okay.
Now that we think of it, it's a nice latte date followed by a chilly stroll through the park doesn't sound too bad. So what that is that got me to the dry dating, which is non-alcoholic, not having alcohol. Well, how does that sound to you, one, without the alcohol? And I will put it out there. Me and Jess do drink. We do.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you not. No, you not going to leave me out here by myself.
I'm safe.
No, you're not going to leave me out here by myself. All right.
Okay.
We're coming back around with that one. All right. So, Jess, what do you think about that? No,
I actually really like it. I mean, it makes it more, I guess, conversational. I think when alcohol gets involved, you think of like partying or losing your focus, changing who you are for a temporary moment, and decisions get made that you may not like. And
like what? Oh, you got to elaborate on that. What decisions? So, I mean, we know, but go ahead. I just want you to elaborate. Go ahead.
You just want me to say something.
You just want what?
Nothing. But so I think drinking. Especially if you're on a date, it doesn't give you the opportunity to be level-minded, especially if you get too much in your system because you're nervous or whatever the case may be. I mean, I don't know. I don't drink like that, but I'm just assuming, your mind gets away from you, and then you start making decisions you wouldn't normally make if you had a sober mind.
So here's the thing that I do want to bring up. I do get it because people are wanting to be in the moment. I believe that when you introduce alcohol to what's going into a dating, because let's be honest about dating, it's actually an interview to see if what kind of relationship this has the potential to be, whether we can be friends, whether we can be more than friends. When I say more than friends, can we go to, is there something that can go for marriage, right? And so I think that some people just get nervous when they're dating, and so they drink alcohol because alcohol dulls the senses. And it's what we call under the influence.
Yes.
And, what is that said, that drunk men tell no lies? I believe that's what it is. And so alcohol really gives people on a date an excuse for what they do or not do, what happens or does not happen on the date.
That's correct.
Would you agree with that?
I agree with that.
I was drinking,
I didn't mean to do that dance with you, but it was alcohol.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to kiss you.
I don't normally do that.
I didn't mean to kiss you, but, it ends up happening.
Right.
And I believe that it's, so let's look at the influence aspect of it. Because of the pandemic and people are We had the social distance for so long, and so there are a lot of things that are coming out of. I actually think this is a good thing. I think this is
Yeah,
a good thing
I
that
agree.
the pandemic have kind of forced us to do, because people are not looking at the influence. That means they're not looking at the influence or the excuse when going on a date. I don't need the excuse. I want to truly be in the moment.
And it brings the real person forward. I mean, a person that's under influence is not who they are on a day-to-day basis. What is your normal style when you're going from day to day?
Yeah, like if you have to drink to deal with somebody,
Yeah,
quit dealing with them.
right.
Listen, live in your truth. I can't deal with you. You're too much. You're annoying. I just can't deal with that. So we gonna be good.
Yeah.
I'm not dating you, but if you got somebody, I don't care how fine they are, how amazingly, how much money they have, or anything like that, because sometimes those can be the things inside of dating. If you have to drink alcohol to deal with them, I mean, think about how that would feel. I mean,
Right.
how you would feel if your parents had to drink alcohol to deal with you. Come here.
Well,
Come here. Come
right.
here. Let
You
me
don't
let
wanna
me deal with you.
Deal with someone like that. Yes.
That would feel horrible. But I also, on the opposite end of that, you shouldn't be dealing with people who you have to get influenced. You have to be influenced by something to deal with them. So that makes me think of another thing, Jess, which is we have one thing that we're calling under the influence. When you are intoxicated, being under the influence can get you. If you get in your car and you're driving under the influence, that can get you a ticket. But why can't dating under the influence get you a ticket?
Well,
Ooh,
it can get you particular tickets.
DUI, dating under the influence.
Yes. Oh gosh.
How many people have ever? And you can comment you can comment in the bottom and let me know how many times. You may not want to be honest with this, but just give me a number. How many times have you yourself went on a date and you had been drinking and you woke up the next day and somebody had to tell you all what you did and you
Oh,
was just
man.
like, oh Lord, I did not do that.
And what if you miss out on the person that you would potentially like because you wasn't really there when you were meeting them?
First impressions, lasting impressions. They met that person who hid behind alcohol.
Yes.
Wow. And just like the police can give you a ticket that sticks,
Yeah.
that ticket, you get that driving under the influence, that's going to be some problems.
Yes.
It's also dating under the influence can also give you some problems as well.
I agree.
Woo!
I was just thinking.
Listen,
Wow.
Jess, you hit that. I got to go and give us a little argument on that because that was good. So, looking at dating under the influence, but let's go even further. What about, because you can look at alcohol like that. I just think that judgment should never be impaired.
I agree. Yeah.
Judgment should never be impaired. That's what it all comes down to, right?
Yeah. Well, how can you have your best foot forward if you need something to enhance you?
If you need something to enhance you, I agree.
But what about those people? You hear a lot about like people in the world that
Right.
do that for work as well. I mean, is it your best foot?
I have never been that guy. When we go out on social events, and we've been to several things, job related, professionally. I'm not finna drink. That's just a part of it. We co-workers. Y'all not my friends. Y'all are not my family. I just believe that there should be a line. There should be parts of you that nobody has access to,
Yeah.
but certain people.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Especially if you don't know them like that.
Work is work. I know you for work. You're the best person at work. But at work, I give you the coworker vibes, the coworker walk and talk. That's who I am. I speak the language of the job that I work at. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
But when we go out and stuff like that, I'm still gonna be speaking that language
Right.
of the job.
Treat the date like a job.
I'm not. What's that?
Do you treat the date like a job?
Well, you answer that. Okay, thank you. Huh? You answer that.
Well,
We dated.
it's what
I mean, you couldn't keep your hands off your boy. You know what I'm saying?
You were interviewed.
I saw you looking at me,
See
looking
if
at
you
my
met the qualifications.
looking at my knees and going
of
on.
a sober-minded Jess. But I guess it is. It is the same. I
So-
mean, yeah.
Can you really ever escape? Escape, Lord. Can you ever really escape the influence? What I mean by, because me and you went and we drank coffee. That was our
That's
first
right.
date. Drank coffee.
Best date ever.
Yes, it was. Best date ever. However, we were under the influence of caffeine. I know. Listen.
Let me think about that.
Which is what I'm getting to right here. When we go, the only true way to go on a date and be under no influence is that, because if you go on a date and you drink alcohol, then you're under the influence of that alcohol. Mm-hmm. You can go and be under the influence of the caffeine. Yeah. You can go outside and be under the influence of the weather.
Oh, that's just too much.
Yeah, it is.
Just stay in the house.
It is. So, but weather doesn't impair your judgment like alcohol will.
It depends. What if you have migraines?
Because I'm gonna tell you this, I have been to a level of hungry.
I was gonna say that could definitely affect.
I have been to a level of hungry and could not even remember what I said before I ate.
Mm-hmm. I know how you are when you're hungry.
Anybody, I know you did. I know you didn't. I know you didn't put that out there like that.
I'm just saying.
I told you before we started. Don't be showing out.
I'm just saying.
So when I'm hungry, think about it. You go to that restaurant and you hungry, and they take too long with your food. I'm already hungry.
Right.
Why would?
So
I'm already hungry. So I'm just like that. Your food will be right out. Yeah, you said that 12 minutes ago. I'm kind of ready to see a roll or something.
Right.
Come back 30 minutes later. Your food is on the way out. Listen, let's talk. Come here. I need to talk to you.
I don't think you would be a good date hungry.
No, I would not.
So how do you show up?
That's why I eat before I go.
That's right.
Oh, come on.
Which is why coffee is great.
You gotta give it. You gotta give it up to you.
Yeah,
boy.
that's for sure.
I'm gonna get me a snack before we go because I gotta be cool and level-headed.
Right.
I can't be out there hungry. One. So that's another thing. You shouldn't go on a date hungry.
So that means you should know what your triggers are. You should know what causes you not to be balanced before you show up to someone that don't know you.
I think the main thing is, and you are right, I think that you need to know yourself. I think that's the main thing. Mm-hmm. But in knowing yourself, know in your presentation what you want to give and what you don't want to give.
Yeah.
Because what alcohol will do many times is it will skew that. So you giving what you don't want to give and you holding back what you do want to give.
Right.
It can flip the script, actually.
Yeah. So
I think that this is a good thing that the pandemic is doing with dating. I just didn't know what dry dating was. Honestly, I was thinking, if it's a dry date, that means there must not going to be any sex. Honestly, I'm just being honest with you. I know some of y'all out there thought the same thing. You thought the same thing.
Well, we see how we both think.
Your boys, dudes meet up with their homeboys later on. Yeah, you had a date last night. How your day go? It was a dry date. Oh, man.
That's funny.
I hate it. It was a dry date. But I'm talking about when I say that, the guys are talking about that it was a boring date.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Because I don't know locker room conversations.
You don't, because you don't go in the locker room.
You don't know what people do in their life.
No. So y'all ladies be in there talking about that?
Ladies have locker room conversations as well.
So what do y'all call a dry date in there?
Well.
Jess, you telling too much, mama.
No, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
I need my lady to stay nice.
A dry date is being boring. That's what ladies say.
So was our first date a dry date?
It was not. Well.
So it was a wet date.
Well. Hold on. What perspective are we talking about here?
Talk to me.
In my definition of a dry date is boring, so ours was not.
So I'm just saying. You just said it was not a dry date, so it was a wet date.
In my definition, not yours.
You can't tell me what my definition is.
Yes, I can. You just said what it was.
That is my definition.
In your definition,
glad to know.
Yes, it was a dry date.
Glad to know I didn't have a dry date.
Whatever. I'll tell you what.
Brothers, men everywhere, don't go on a dry date in that regard.
Whatever.
Go on a wet date.
Meaning it's not boring.
All right. So we're actually talking about the absence of alcohol. Our first date was absent of alcohol and absent of sex and all of that.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I remember there was this. I'll give y'all that another time because just look at it. She's nervous.
You better not.
She thought I was gonna go there. I'm gonna go there when we, I'm gonna wait a
He
few
will
podcasts
not.
later and talk about that because Jess made a statement from the get go. I was like, okay, you all right?
Well, obviously,
You ain't
it
all
caused
that.
me to win.
You
So-
not all that. Is that how they do it? You ain't all that.
But it caused me to win.
It caused you to win, but it was a little different.
Yeah.
It was a little different. I'm sorry, excuse me. It was a little different. So would you go? Because I can't say would you go on a dry date because me and you dry date all the time. I mean, when we go out, we it just kind of depends on what's going on. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you this: if you're going out on a date to getting intoxicated, stay home.
Yes.
I mean, do that on your own. I don't believe now. If you both are going, that's what y'all going to do, both of you. Then that's your business. But I wouldn't go. And I guess it's just a matter of. Then how long should you go on a date for you drink with somebody?
Till you know them.
Strong drinks.
You got to know what's going to happen in case of this happens. Who's going to keep you safe? Who's going to be the one to decide to keep us safe? So if you don't know that person, I don't think it's safe to go out and drink.
Well, okay, how long? And because it brings up a lot of questions. How long before you truly know that person? Because somebody's asking that. Okay, so
Yeah.
So if you all have made the decision to go out and so what if you meet somebody? No, because it got me because I was supposed to say if you meet somebody at a party and both of y'all kind of look tipsy, that's something different. That's a
Yeah.
whole different ball game right there. Which I don't, people drink and do different things.
So does it mean are you using it in a sense of we are preparing to go meet someone new? Is that your definition of?
Let's say first date.
Yeah.
Let's say I think that's the clarity that we need to bring to this conversation. So a first date, dry date. We're gonna do dry date.
Okay.
So how long before you make it wet?
Clarifying the definition.
I love this because Jess gets so uncomfortable. Y'all look at her on there. Look at her over there. She is
Because
so uncomfortable.
Because I know I need to make sure we're defining it as no alcohol.
All right. That's what you say.
I guess it's hard to put a timing on it because you can't decide when you're comfortable with somebody. You can decide. You have to individually decide when you're comfortable enough to do things like that with somebody. Like my first date, I don't know you. I'm not going to trust that, what I feel is safe and makes sense will be the same for you until I know that about you.
All right.
I guess a couple trial runs of going different places and see what happens.
All right. I'm feeling that. So it's just a matter of when you know. I get what you're saying.
What do you think?
Well, and that's what I'm going to actually get into. I think that it's a matter of this right here, dry dating. I think it's talking about first dating, first dates. Most people are nervous. First date. Let's be real. When you met me,
I was nervous,
and you saw how fine I was.
Exactly.
You know
exactly
how amazing I was. I was saying, yeah. When she saw how much of an alpha male I was. What else can I add to myself?
Oh my goodness.
When she's anyway, so I was nervous too. I won't say that I was nervous. My nerves are a little different, and so I do have to bring that up right here. Which Jess, when she's nervous, she smiles, and she may even giggle a little bit, and she's terrified.
Why are you telling people my business?
Well, it's the truth. Now, me on the other hand, when I'm nervous, I'm super focused. I don't want to talk.
He is quiet.
I am quiet and totally focused in on what's going on, and I don't know if it's just preparing for something ignorant to happen or something like that. And I don't do it in a way that causes people to think I'm mad or something like that. I just don't have conversation. All right. So, yeah. So I guess it's the first. So many people will use alcohol. We talked about that for being the influence because they're nervous, different things like that. So when you take that out of the equation, I think it's helpful.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that authentic authentic person shows up. Both people show up authentically. And they're able to have a conversation and grow organically, make those decisions organically, with the conversation, different things like that. Because if you need alcohol to have a good time, I question uh, I question a lot of things when you need alcohol to have a good time.
Right. Instead of considering yourself a good time.
That's why we're podcasters, because we just sit down and talk. I mean, this is just you all. We're sharing with you all what our normal conversation is. So, what do you all think? What do you all think? I want you to comment in the bottom, and I do want you to like and subscribe to the channel. Definitely want you to like and subscribe to the channel. But comment down below what you think about dry dating. What you think about dry dating, and if you think it's a thing, if you would go on a dry date, or is alcohol here to stay in your relationships?
Right.
If alcohol is here to stay in your relationship, let us know down below. Let us know down below. I don't know, but I will say this, because I can't say it for everyone, but I do believe that it's a good thing. It is a good thing. Just wouldn't you agree? It's a good thing.
To dry date.
Let me come back over here. It is a good thing to dry date.
Yes.
It's a good thing to dry date.
It's a good thing to dry date.
Because you'll get a chance to learn each other, know each other, hear each other, and really be able to focus in without being impaired, without your judgment being impaired.
And you learn to calm yourself naturally with that person.
Right. You're all able to feel what your syncs are and what your vibes are. Mm-hmm.
Or decide if you can calm yourself with that person.
Right.
Without influence.
Right. And so that is a good thing. That is a good thing. So would you disagree or agree, Jess, that, dry dating is where it's at?
I believe in it. I think it's a great thing. We've tried it, actually, so we know it works. So from personal experience, so it works.
We've tried dry dating and wet dating. And preferably...
This show's over.
Oh my goodness. All right. So anyway, y'all stay tuned. Subscribe, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Bring your friends, family.
Yep.
All right.